You multitask better when you're smiling. I'm down to 27 battery, so we gotta
Hold on.
make this crank.
Welcome to Timelines, episode 153. Today on Timelines, we have Aaron Riggs from Atascadero, California.
How you doing, Bill?
Hey, great. Well, I'm going to talk about Aaron here. Aaron's working with technology, and Aaron helps people bring their ideas and dreams forward and creates results and helps. And you know what? He's also into laughter meditation. We had an interesting little workup. If you see Aaron in Atascadero, which is a nice area. I know where Paso Robles is, not sure where Atascadero is, but he's somewhere close to the ocean. There's some nice cypress trees, it looks like. Beautiful part of the world. Aaron, welcome to Timelines.
Yes, thanks for having me as a guest, Bill. I was really excited when I seen a couple of your interviews when you actually invited me on, to talk about my successes and some of the things that I use to help me through success. I was actually going to do a discussion on that rather than, because failure is easy. Failure is you didn't reach your goal. Done. Success, there's thousands of different successes. Just this weekend, I was like, I got to get to Big Sur, and a bunch of things came up, and I had to fight through, my scheduling, tasks that needed to be done before I left. But when I got there, and I had the greatest day of my life practically, except for today, I'll work on tomorrow, but that was just the biggest success for me because, even though it was just 1 day trip to Big Sur, a 2-hour drive, whatever. To me, it was a success because, for yesterday.
Big Sur is an interesting place. On Highway 1, it's like a long drive from about there's a jumping off points. I'm sure it's close to where you are. You jump off, you drive north, right?
Yeah, actually, we jump off driving east.
We drive east, but you have to go up the coast.
We have to go about 15 minutes west and then up the coast. It depends on where, if you want to go north or south of Big Sur, there's a bunch of different coves I like. On which west coast you take. You could take the 41, the 46, the 68, depending on where you want to go.
Yeah, California is an absolutely gorgeous state. It's a beautiful state. And you sounds like you grew up in some of the prettiest parts of California.
Yes. I was one of the lucky few to be born and raised in the Central Coast area. I think I'm a second or third generation Central Coastian, which is kind of different than the Californians because everyone thinks California, oh, you're in Sacramento or San Francisco or Los Angeles. But in reality, those are three totally different parts. And if you've ever been to Los Angeles or San Francisco, you know that even within that city and metropolis or megalopolis, there are many, many cultures within. They talk about Chinatown, Little Armenia, all these different regional things within Los Angeles. And it really makes you, understand the depth of social interaction and how that affects your success.
So that brings us to where you are today. So what do you do and how did you get there?
I call it pressing buttons. But, was really interested in internet marketing, internet technology, got my first, let's go way back. Introduced to computers when I was 8. Tandies, Apples, blah, blah, blah. But I got my first PC in 1999 and just kind of explored the whole internet thing, learned a little bit about websites and marketing, decided I need to learn more, and went to college for 4 years when I turned 35 and got a 4-year degree, graduated with honors, got accepted into the Delta International Honors of Business Society because I got good grades. And I've run a couple small businesses, some perpetual businesses like vending machines that still have that. I list eBay, a bunch of different things, for money. Right now I'm focusing on helping other people with their websites, whether it's SEO, optimization, speed of loading, new features, and just kind of walking them through the technical stuff. And, let's just take, for instance, one particular friend of mine is they're paying $150 a month for hosting and then like $75 to have a picture or a link added, and it's on a WordPress site, but they just won't give it up to her. And I'm trying to help them through migrating the site. They're worried about SEO and stuff. So I'm, we're planning, we're analyzing, getting ready. We're going to make contact, see if we can't, get that website under her control so she doesn't have to pay that exorbitant hosting amount every month.
Oh, things have changed so much the last year and a half. Blab didn't exist. And on the web page platforms, I'm sort of in a similar business because I'm around people. I produce for WP Tonic. Actually, I don't produce. I'm the engineer for WP Tonic on their show, which is a tech show about WordPress and platform speed, everything that's hooked with it. In fact, right now, last month they finished up online digital schools. This month they've been looking at Genesis with Dynamic, had the developer from Genesis Dynamic on. Next month they're looking at power users and WordPress. But one thing that I noticed is the cost of putting up sites has come way down. And the cloud provider now, whether it's Bluehost, SiteGround, or we use DigitalOcean too for more advanced platforms. DigitalOcean doesn't have a cPanel.
Yeah, I actually worked in a data center, so I'm familiar with various platforms. I've talked with real Linuxy people that just program everything flat code, right, or even do everything through Linux, Bash, HTML, all these different things. In San Luis Obispo, you may have heard of a company called MindBody, and it's kind of a running joke locally that they redid Joomla. They made a crappier Joomla and then sold it twice as much and locked people in on the contract. Yeah,
that's funny.
Joomla, yeah,
that's
we
funny.
Call it Joomla.
Yeah, Joomla is a European, I think, German-based private competitor to WordPress for those out there.
Yeah, and also I've seen people take WordPress platform and kind of revamp it, rebrand it, because it is open source.
Right.
They add this or that, and then they rebrand it for themselves, as a lockdown platform rather than an open source platform.
Right. Licensing absolutely open source. That's the whole concept. It gets better and stronger because it's open source. And if you look at Genesis,
here's the thing, Bill. I don't like talking about the tech stuff.
Yeah, we're talking tech.
I mean, really, to me, success is really about controlled enthusiasm with the positivity.
Yeah.
Because you can control it in multiple ways. And I also wanted to warn you, I'm down to 17%. So I don't know if that.
Well, we'll pause, and if you have to go inside and plug in. Right now, that's perfect because we're at 6 or 7 minutes. We're going to finish up in about 2 or 3 minutes, take a break, and we'll send you back into your house, which you have that beautiful house with the knotty pine. It must be a gorgeous part of the world you live in.
It is, and that's one of the things you see around here. Not so much enthusiasm, but a positive attitude, and a lot of gratitude. People are thankful, genuinely thankful.
Oh, yeah. I miss California very much. I grew up in California, went away in the military, came back into Central California. California's a beautiful state, and I do like Reno, Nevada quite a bit. I like the Sierras, but there's so much to California. There's so much you can do. So tell us in the last couple of minutes here, tell more about what you're doing now. And I'm going to step one step back. Where'd you go to college?
I went to online, actually University of Phoenix online for my bachelor's, my professional degree.
Yep. I think, there's a new environment now. And if you're on this online business platform, I think an online degree is great.
Oh man, it helped me because rather than I still got to work on my public speaking. I'm trying to get involved with Toastmasters and stuff, but yeah, you learn how a platform, a video stream, a text chat, an email, a web page communicates more than just information. It communicates emotion. It communicates a feeling. It communicates an idea that maybe words can't express. And so I think that even though it wasn't a traditional school, because my focus of education was online business, doing it online, it not only gave me the information, but gave me a form of practice so that I could form habits that are positive, for my thing.
Right. And it gets you working, get you set up. It takes discipline and it takes a good computer too. What kind of computer do you use?
I have a supercomputer, a MacBook Pro, got it through work. The only thing I don't like about it is when I'm running really heavy processing and doing a lot of different things, the battery life just sucks out of it.
I have an i7 too. When we're streaming, it really pushes hard. Now I know you're doing some other streaming out there too.
Yeah, I'm streaming on, I have a couple Blab rooms open right now. I'm going to get with you on the streaming podcasting thing on how to stream to other platforms like Google at the same time, and to do that iCasting, that iPod recording and stuff, because that's awesome stuff. And that's one thing I didn't learn in school, about that. And that's a huge part of social media today.
What I found though is jumping right into iTunes is not the way to go. You start with Blab, start with YouTube, and then go to iTunes. Also, Google Plus isn't too bad these days. But
All right.
yeah,
Hey,
that
yeah, I am running batteries, so
well, you know what? We're going to go to a break, and I'll see you on the other side inside after the commercial.
all right, all right. Thanks, Bill.
So, quick commercial from Share the Oils. Thank you, Share the Oils, for sponsoring. And that's funny. Aaron's in the background here. And of course, don't forget to go over to netcasting101.com and sign up for that pre-course. I look at it like a donation now. If you like the content, buy that course. It's $40. Someday, hopefully that course has to be, several $100s to make it feasible. But what I see is I put 2 years into building an online business, looking at sound and playing with all different things. And what I've learned was, and here's what I've learned. I'm going to a little break in here. I started out right with podcasting. I think the way to do it is to work on your sound, record, and go up on YouTube. That said, that's how I was thinking like before Blab showed up. Once Blab showed up, I said, well, now record, learn Blab inside and out, then post onto YouTube. And then after you're satisfied, have 10 or 12 courses, you've learned to talk and walk, and you haven't really spent much money. Then you go up into iTunes. That jump into iTunes is a little bit more work. And then once you jump into iTunes, if you want to make any money, you have to start working your platforms. Your platform is usually your web page. And Aaron and we are talking offline, and he is like a WordPress guy like me. So that said, now let's go back into Aaron and talk about his success principles.
Well, one of the main things that I've been noted for is my enthusiasm and my positive attitude, my happy attitude. And, like they say, these are things I've worked on. I've had to work on having a positive enthusiasm, because it's really easy to get enthusiastic and negative or over enthusiastic. Like, this is a pretty, low key, just, interview. So there's no need for all my cool props that I have in the background.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, it matches the face, and I grab the words from here.
Yeah. No, you have to have positive motivation. Without it, it's difficult to get anything done or go ahead. That's why, especially an entrepreneur, because it's just you. I mean, you may have a team around you. Maybe you have somebody helping you coach or motivate you, but mostly it's up to you. It's you. You're responsible for yourself. Love it. That's why I like being an entrepreneur. I've been, inside and outside.
This brings up my two keywords too: confidence and discipline.
Okay. So you gave me
those are both learned and practiced too and become habit, but you have to practice the art of confidence. And I always say, you can't have confidence unless you were afraid of something new. Because to build confidence, you need to have courage of something new. And then once you practice courage in that new thing over and over, it becomes habit, it becomes natural. Once it becomes natural and instinct, habit, subconscious, you can become confident about it. So now I can be confidently explain to you how enthusiasm works, because I have practiced it. I was afraid of it, and now I have practiced it. And then I've got good at it, I've been told, but I make it part of just my habit, my subconscious, and then just doing it every day. I don't think I try not to be arrogant. Oh, I'm the most confident, because that is arrogance. But I'm confident that I can explain confidence because I've practiced it, from being afraid to being courageous to practicing it becoming just second nature, and then confidence. And also at the same time, guarding that thought, preparing that mental attitude, and understanding that, hey, I don't want to come off as arrogant. I don't want to think arrogance, because I know there's more confident than people than me. But, I'm pretty confident, I guess. I'm comfortable here in the Central Coast, and, people get it here.
So normally we jump into your 4 principles you gave me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask to follow up on your ability to explain confidence. So explain to me in a couple of minutes, what is confidence?
A simple definition of confidence is a feeling or belief that you can do something well or succeed at something. A feeling or belief that someone or something is good or has the ability to succeed in something. A feeling, so like if I had confidence in you that you would do a good interview, that it would be a good format, would break so I can move my station for recordings. or of confidence in myself that I feel I can do something because I've done it 100,000 times. It's easy for me, I guess. And the third definition would be from Merriam-Webster, of course, Webster.com, Merriam-Webster.com, the feeling of being certain that something will happen or that something is true. And now I go into my principle that I call it the crystal vision, okay? Because you want to crystallize that vision. And, so you use imagination to possibility something's going to happen. And when you think it through like Einstein thought experiment, you become certain because you understand how that something will become true, and you become confident that it will come true. So I'm not just saying I think I can make a website. I have done the research. I have, put it all together so that now I understand exactly each step that I need to get to make that website. I'm pretty confident that if you came to me with your idea, I could make the website, because I've done it in practice. I've done it. If you came to me and said, can you do a podcast? My confidence would waver. I would be courageous enough to get on and do an interview and hopefully get follow up and do more interviews, hopefully working with you on your training that you're promoting, and become confident through that process in podcasting. So, I guess of the 3 different definitions, my perspective, I hope you kind of get where I'm coming from.
Right. No, I've got it. And, that's something that you can share as we evolve. I'm learning something called super affiliate. And that's a whole nother story. So normally we're going to go right into your 4 points you brought up. Now I'm going to let you explain those, and we're going to have to do it in about 2 minutes before we go to our final break.
Okay.
And so the first one you said,
I'm going to move the computer outside too, and I'll be, because
we're going to take a break.
It's fun. It's spontaneous. It's energetic. It's dynamic. It's another thing that we like to say, adaptability.
So folks, you are listening on iTunes. You're seeing Aaron move around his beautiful house. He's got at 90 Pine, beautiful part of the world. And I paused for a second, and then I'm coming back up. But I'll tell you what, this Blab platform, when you get the sound right, you get things going right, you can make amazing podcasts and save so much time. So that's a second commercial from me. So Aaron's back by the tree. So Aaron, let's go right into this. Great leaders know how to follow. That's your first point.
Yes. Well, if you're not following what your followers are doing, how are you you got to follow them. Okay, let's just take a work group, for example. And I'm leading a work group, say a web build. And I'm not following team member A, who is all over the place with, say, content writing. And I'm not following team member B, who is, say, all over the place with graphics development. And I'm not following team member C, who is all over the place with, social media marketing. How can I lead those people if I don't know what they're doing? If I can't put them all on the same page, you know what I mean?
You know what? You just talked about the core of building a great website platform. You can build a website with the basics. To build a great website platform, you get all 3 of those things you mentioned. That's where I caught on.
Those software engineers in there, those custom builder, those plug-in builders, and engineer scope. Yeah. Let's have some scope drift on this project with a couple of engineers that you're not following what they're doing.
Yeah, you start squirreling around, going different directions, keeping a team going and following. Hey, that's good. So next thing is enjoy people while organizing productivity. That sort of falls into what you just said.
Yes. Because then we're starting to talk about personality and emotion. If you're not enjoying the work you're doing, if you're not able to, really engage with them on a personal level, how are you going to know what tasks they're completing, if their scheduling is on, if they're having a personal issue, maybe they missed a meeting? You really got to connect on that personal level to really get the productivity going, so that I understand, hey, you know what? Don't bother Bill on Saturday and Sunday. He's got to watch the football game or whatever. I'm not going to expect you to be there on Saturday or Sunday if we have an emergency meeting or some tasks come up. So I got to connect personally to have things move forward.
So next is respect, patience, understanding, listen softly, and speak softly. That's sort of like a bunch of little success principles put together, but they fit into what you've been saying.
Oh, yes. And in my platform on the technology, it's big to do the integration. And a lot of these success principles don't work individually. You kind of have to put them together. I don't have my notes in front of me, but could you repeat the question again?
It's not a question. It's your third point. And you wrote these down. Great job
Yes.
filling out the form. Respect, patience, understanding, listen softly, and speak softly.
So that kind of ties into the, team building thing, but also when you're team building, if especially on Blab, I've gone into Blabs and I've listened loud, claps everywhere, comments everywhere, and then I've listened quietly. And so when someone's explaining a story, it's good to nod or say yes, quietly, and listen. And then as far as like talking quietly, now if I'm talking like this, I make you really try and strain to listen to what I'm saying. I've got 100% of your attention by talking quietly. Now, if I'm talking loud and you listen to a podcast, you can ignore me, block me out, and you can type and have your own thoughts. But if you really want to hear what I'm saying and I'm talking quietly, you will dedicate your attention.
Very good. And then the last one it's your favorite, is positive energy with enthusiasm.
Yes. And here come the happy faces your way. And I'm going to plug the laughter revolution again. Because say that statement again. I just want it to ring true.
Positive energy with enthusiasm.
So positive energy with enthusiasm. And that also comes back to discipline. Because if you're not confident about your positive energy, jump in, learn how to do it, be afraid of being positive, and then practice it, and you'll become confident. But also, if you have too much positive energy, like if I come into a room and listen too loudly, maybe or maybe not, is that too much enthusiasm, even though it's positive? And so you kind of have to have the self-discipline to know and to be able to control it on when is appropriate, when it's not appropriate, when to stop and think about your response, and when to really let someone have your gut response. And how to even, we can get into body language and facial expression, voice tone, and things like that. But I don't think we have time today. But I appreciate the interview.
And the last one, before we go to our final break, is your favorite book is The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino?
Yes.
So what's the core of that book?
The scrolls, the secret scrolls. I lost the rest of the book. I take up the scrolls. I'm putting them on my website, and it's basically a daily dedication of self, of positivity,
right.
All these factors. And those scrolls are cool. I like them. I read them daily. This is the second time through them doing the process. And so I'm broadcasting and recording for my website for content and stuff.
Well, Aaron, you're back outside. Now we're going to go to our final break. We're going to come back with a commercial from you and then one last question.
All right. Excellent. I am going to mute out and actually
Okay, we are back for Aaron's commercial. Aaron, tell us how you get a hold of you and your commercial, whatever you want to tell the listener.
Well, to contact me directly, you can go to the No Spam Zone, millionairesdream.com. We all have a millionaire's dream. Follow it. I like, it's kind of my filter, my landing page. I am also doing a current project on the study of success and the secrets of success, or whatever you want to call it. We're building out a whole website and platform, and I'll drop the link at the end of the chat. That's my commercial. Nothing
That's good. And to get a hold of you, you didn't mention millionairedream.com. And
millionaires, because we all millionaires.
Millionairesdream.com. And if you can go to timelines at timelinesofsuccess.com, episode 153, go down in the contact information. You can find the links. And also 16 to successinfo.gra.com.
Yeah, we're still working out the back end. We do have a bit.ly link in there for tracking for the information for our personal marketing efforts. It's good to track and take that kind of stuff, but that is the direct link, and that does have a little autoresponder, just a few, kind of the pre-launch auto response.
Yeah.
They're going to be individually. They're not auto response. Actually, we'll let you know when things are ready as things progress. The Millionaire's Dream, you get one email. That's it. I may not contact you.
I just want to, in closing, I just want to tell the folks, I've had a lot of fun on this interview. It's been a pleasure to talk with you from California. You've been inside, outside your house. You're playing all these Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun, a lot of good positive attitude, good vibrations, great sound. You're on your MacBook Pro. I want to tell folks that's a MacBook Pro without a mic, and it's coming out great. So a lot of fun. But we do have one last question.
Yeah.
So you talk about this millionaire dream thing. What's all that about?
Oh man, so this is like the super high long-term goal. I want to help as many people as I know as I can become as successful as I possibly, whatever contributions I can make online or however, whether it's a website or doing an interview to fill up the time, or I want to do that interactive helping each other thing. A couple people have talked it, many different keywords have been hashtagged similar to the experience I do of following that dream with you. Not only am I a client, I may be a customer. Not only am I a customer, you may become my client, and we do it together, not just I'm better than you, you're better than me, but together, we walk the path. We don't just talk it. We're here, we talked it earlier. Let's do a broadcast. Let's record it nice.
And it's come out well. It's been a lot of fun. And with that, we will sign off. So wave goodbye, and we'll stay on for the listener.